Hello and welcome to yourlocalnote.com. We're a little late, but we are here and ready to go. Looking forward to talking to Gregg Cagno about his new LP. It's called Worth the Wait. Right now, we're going to get into it. We're going to play the first song for tonight. Is called The Part That Repeats. We also have a special bonus. Gregg's going to be playing live. Can't wait to hear him do that. So that, and we'll be talking about his music and his career in just a few minutes. So here is The Part That Repeats from the album Worth the Wait. This is Gregg Cagno on yourlocalnote.com.
Start off with a line about love gone bad. Make it specific, don't say the best I've ever had. She leaves in the first verse, oh, woe is me. Then take it to the chorus and milk the sympathy. This is the part that repeats over and over. This is the part that repeats, so you remember. This is the part that repeats, and it's usually the title. This is the part that repeats. Then you sing about the things you've done since she split. Stuff you used to do together, but now it makes you feel like. Then a line about her perfume, maybe one about her cat. You all got dirty minds, I didn't mean that. This is the part that repeats, makes you wanna sing with me. This is the part that repeats, makes you wanna buy a CD. This is the part that repeats, and it's usually the title. This is the part that repeats. A two-chord bridge in the minor that makes you strain like a whiner. It sounds so sad and alone. Then a solo on saxophone. Then you gotta wrap it all up with a third verse and a line of philosophy like a blessing and a curse. How you better off without her and how you wish her well. The truth is you still hate her, but that song would never sell. This is the part that repeats and makes you wanna download me. This is the part that repeats on your iPhone or on your PC. This is the part that repeats, and stream it so you get it free. This is the part that repeats. This is the part that repeats. This is the part that repeats.
All right, the song is called The Part That Repeats from the album Worth the Wait. The singer and songwriter is Gregg Cagno. Gregg, welcome to yourlocalnote.com.
Thanks, RJ. Good to be here.
Okay, let's go talk about this song first, and then we're going to get into your career.
All right.
The Part That Repeats. Obviously, you wrote the song.
Yes.
What is it about?
Well, it's a song I always kind of wanted to write all the time because it's just I started seeing this rather annoying formula that popped up in all these big rock anthems, and
right.
I was like, oh, well, that would kind of make an amusing song for me to just kind of point that out and just do a takeoff on that.
You're mocking the industry a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but
okay.
There's a lot of truth there, and if you can write a rock anthem, then more power to you.
Yeah,
so that's my instructional.
I think there's an audience for people who like when you're poking fun at different things.
I agree.
I find it entertaining. Who did all these mockumentaries?
I just watched Spinal Tap the other
Yes,
night.
there you go. Spinal Tap. He also mocked the dog shows.
Oh yeah,
Best
Christopher
in Show.
Guest. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, Best in Show. Yeah.
And then he mocked the old time folk singers.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one. That's great.
Yeah, that was
Mighty Wind. Yeah,
yes,
that's brilliant. Yeah.
I mean, those were. I mean, taking I guess poking fun at that genre and the way they carried on. It was entertaining. So I think that's good. I'm glad you did that. I'm entertained. So that's one person.
Hey, That makes two of us. There we go.
Okay. Let's talk about your career. You're a singer-songwriter.
Yes.
Have you always been a singer-songwriter? Have you been in bands and then moved in that direction? Just give us a little background.
I was only in one band ever, and that was early on. Garage band in the early years, high school days. We were called Hypothermia, as you remember. And,
okay.
And it was just very loud and a lot of carrying heavy things. And then I realized how light the acoustic guitar was. And, I don't know. The band thing just never was for me. I still like to. I actually, have played with those guys maybe 3 times over the past couple years as a throwback reunion thing. But there's just a lot of logistics in a band, and I just always somewhere the songwriter bug bit me early, and I started listening to the folk guys. I got into. I started going to open mics at Godfrey Daniels Coffee House up in Bethlehem when I was in high school, and that's where I really got into this scene. And I don't know, it was just it seemed very not only accessible, but it seemed very kind of honest, and it was a nice. A nice way to meet people and kind of, I don't know, there was less posturing than the rock and roll scene.
It fit what you wanted to do.
Yeah, it fit who I am, really.
Okay. Well, that's good that you picked up on that.
True.
You could go through and it's interesting. I mean, we've been doing this for 4 years. We've interviewed all sorts of musicians, and it's. I like it because it's so unpredictable, because everyone is so different.
Yeah.
And they have different views. We have people who understand the business and say, they do their own music, but then they play in cover bands to pay the bills and things like that. And then you have people who were like, I would rather die first than play cover songs. and it's interesting to get their perspectives. Neither one is wrong,
right?
Because it's their opinion and their feelings. So I think it's good that you found out early what you wanted to do and stuck with it. How many albums have you made?
That is number 4 of my own, and I made one with my wife, so that's 5 actually. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a family business.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say that. My wife is more of a musical theater person by trade.
Okay.
And, but she, musical theater involves a lot of singing as well. So she's got a voice that well exceeds mine, and so it wasn't hard to convince her to come.
How much fun was that?
It was pretty fun because it was it happened real quickly. We kind of just decided we wanted to make it, and maybe like 3 sessions it took us. We were done.
Did you write most of the music, or did she?
No,
help
see,
you
that was your quintessential holiday record. So,
okay.
So we wrote.
Okay.
I mean, we wrote a few on there, but most of them are kind of our takes on the traditionals and stuff. It's more like a winter. It's not a Christmas album, but it's more like a holiday winter kind of songs. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Very cool. Now, when it comes to songwriting. Are you the type of person who needs to experience in order to write about it, or can you take an idea and you're more of a storyteller? You get an idea and you can just expand on it.
I used to be that. Now I'm more of the expander kind of guy. I think it's a progression in writing that you learn that you don't necessarily have to live it for it to be a good song, and sometimes it's better if you don't, or you just. It's a process of learning how to write, and what makes a good song doesn't. The story usually isn't as good as the song can be. So
okay,
you're a songwriter, you're a storyteller,
right?
So make it tell that story that's a better song.
Excellent.
And I think also you just tire of first person songs,
Okay.
Or it gets a little.
And you can but you can pick and choose in a way and use something from your life experience to expand on the storytelling.
It's usually a nugget in there of the truth, for sure.
Okay.
And it may not be your nugget of truth. It may be something you heard on the SEPTA bus and say,
that
that's
you
a
witnessed.
good song there. Yeah.
Okay.
And more than not, for me, that's kind of it's a conversation you'll just pick up on, and it's like there's the one phrase that just jumps out at you. You said, I got half the song already from that one phrase.
Nice.
So.
All right, we got a special treat tonight. You're playing live. And
I was excited to find out what it was.
And the first song you're going to play live is called Waking Life. And, of course, that is on your album, Worth the Wait.
Yes.
So let's play it, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Okay, let's do that.
All right,
Good.
so you ready to go? Here it is. Gregg Cagno, Worth the Wait. The album is, that's the name of the album, and this is called Waking Life on yourlocalnote.com.
Picture this, late one night, you try and sleep, something's not right. You flip the switch, the light stays on, you check the clock and something's wrong. 'Cause you can't focus on the time, there's no reason, only rhyme. You try and lay down on your bed, your body floats away instead. And as you're flying, you keep reaching for some meaning, for completion, but it's just the letting go. It's the part you need to know. So now you think you might be dead, your life don't look quite like they said. But who are they? What do they know? You're the one who calls the show. But from up here you see it all. It seems a long, long way to fall. And in that one moment of fear, you give up and it comes clear. And as you're flying, you keep reaching for some meaning, for completion, but it's just the letting go. It's the part you need to know. You awake out of your head and in the universe instead. A speck of dust, a grain of sand, but here and now you understand. Your tiny world just opened wide. No need to stay inside and hide. The truth and joy that you give, well, they're the only things that live. And as you're flying, you keep reaching for some meaning, for completion, but it's just the letting go. It's the part you need to know.
All right, very nice. Sounding very good.
Thank you
very
very
good.
much.
Good job on that. That's Gregg Cagno. This is yourlocalnote.com. The song is called Waking Life from his new album. When did it come out?
Last summer.
Nice. Okay. Worth the Wait is the name of the album. Check it out. There's some really good stuff on here. All right, Greg, let's talk about this song, Waking Life. What is this? What is this about?
Well, my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time is the same title, Waking Life. It's a Richard Linklater illustrated movie. Do you know that?
Okay.
Oh, it's just so good, And it's so it really just kind of grew out of that and got me thinking about death.
Okay. Well, at some point you have to start thinking about that.
But it's kind of like, it's more of like a forgiveness meets death kind of song,
You're sort of looking back and you want to...
No,
you have some regrets.
Honestly,
is there some regrets in that song that you're trying to work past?
No. It's more of like the kind of switch that happens when you switch into forgiveness.
Okay,
that's what I was going for. Really.
Okay, very good.
It's a little all over the map, but not. It's a philosophical movie and song. Let's call it that.
Well, it sounds good.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
All right. Let's talk about the album. This is your fifth full album.
Yes.
So
I like that you still call them albums, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
you and I, probably not this guy.
No, he's.
Yeah.
He's looking at me. What's going on, old man?
No. I mean, I usually call them record. I call it a record because it's short for recording, so it can mean anything.
Yes.
Albums. When you say album, you get that look from the millennials now.
But vinyl is making a little bit of a comeback.
It is. Not in my world, but it is.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't see myself going back. I mean, I couldn't part with. I have one milk crate that I'm never going to part with.
Same here.
But I don't play them anymore.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to find time. Is really what it comes down to. But okay, let's get back to the album CD. Okay,
back to it.
Okay, and so did you had someone produce this for you, or did you self-produce this? How did
it
this
was
work?
produced by a very talented guy named Jimmy Heffernan out of he lives now in Haddon Heights, New Jersey. He has a studio called 5511, which is a little Nashville. He was a Nashville guy for years, and that's the Nashville numbering system, chord system is a reference to 5511.
Okay.
And yes, and I met Jim playing actually in a show we were playing in the band for a randomly, which was a beautiful random thing. Was we were backing up a country show, and Jim was playing. I think he was just playing an electric guitar, and I was playing acoustic guitar, and it was pretty fun because none of the guys in the band had ever done any theater before, but they kind of like gave these little parts to the whole band to everyone had like a line here and there,
right,
and then we were just kind of the backup band for this theater show, and I got to say, I mean, the musicianship of this band was just fantastic, and we all kind of just fell into it randomly, and it was like a day gig. It was like a afternoon theater. Let's call it.
Sure.
And so we were done by like 4, so you could go do a night gig. So it was like a nice steady music gig for a couple months there, just playing in the band. So anyhow, Jim and I hit it off very well, and I found out that he had a studio, and how it went down is that he was looking for. I'll make a long story short. I have done and still do some website design work as well, and we were talking about.
If you want to plug that company, you can.
Well, I'll plug that as well. But he does all these workshops where he does like dobro instruction, and he would sell DVDs at these dobro workshops, but nowhere else. And I was like, dude, you need a website. What are you talking about? You just sell them out of your trunk, and that's it. So I said, how about this? I'll build you a website. You make me a record. And it all worked out very well.
Nice.
We've worked together for many years now, and he's still. Well, I'll plug both of those. I mean, hey, my business is Double G Force.
Double G Force.
Web design. GG the number 4.
Got it.
ORCE.com, and he's JimmyHeffernan.com. So anyhow, he's a killer musician, great dobro player, pedal steel, and really anything you can pull off the wall. So we had a lovely time making the record. Mostly the record is me, Jim, and a percussionist, and then in a few songs we pulled a band in, like the one you just played, the part that repeats. And Jim played for years, with some Nashville heavy hitters like Joe Diffie and Brad Paisley, and so I was really lucky to have someone so talented to help me arrange these songs and put them together. And I really like how it came out. So it's my favorite of what I've recorded. So
is it the first album he produced for you? Or
yes, this is the first one he's produced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, it sounds like you probably had a lot of discussion in how you wanted the album to go, or did he have a lot of input in what was done?
I kind of had the vision once we started doing some gigs together. Like right when we met, when we were working on that other show, we just started doing gigs together for fun. And the sound of the dobro and the guitar, just the two, made so much sense to me that I was like, why don't let's do that, and maybe get like a hand, like some djembe or just some light percussion, and so that was the vision, and I think he definitely picked right up on what I was going for, and then made it work with he started saying, a little pedal steel would be nice here, and a little mandolin would be so like, and it kind of stuff that it was fun because I didn't even know that he played all these things, so it was like, we need a mandolin for this. And I was like, who can we get? And he's like, give me that. So that was really nice. And so cheers to you, Jim.
This album you've had since last summer, it's been out. Are you thinking of another album soon? Or
I'm always writing, and the way I do it is, I write until I have enough songs that I like, and then I put another thing out. And I think I'm starting to, in light of the changing paradigm of recorded music, I really think that'll probably be my last tangible
I was going to ask about that, because this is something we have seen, and we've had producers on, and we talked to the different band members and musicians, and it's a changing world. It's becoming it's almost, in a way, it's going back to a singles world. In the 60s, it was a singles world.
True, yeah.
And we're going back to that. Yeah. And so I'm always curious to get the different musicians' take on that. And some people have said, nope, I got to do an album. I want to do an album.
Yeah.
But I think you I don't want to use the word waste, but some songs could get lost in the sense that you don't have time to promote them.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you're on to your next album,
right?
Or you've written some more newer stuff, and you could have 5-6 good songs that really didn't get proper promotion.
Yeah. I mean, it ends up being like, I think the EP is the way to go now in this setting, and. So I think that's the plan. Once I got 5 or 6 that I like enough, it doesn't even have to be. It's like you get like 3 songs. I mean, I got a friend who's working on 2 songs, and he's like, when I finish one of them, I'll put it out, and then that's it. It's a different way to think about it, but like the distribution is so digital, and
yeah.
And the flip side of that is, though, I still play a lot of the folk rooms,
right,
and the folk people still want to go home with something, or like point of sale, like you're not gonna take the amount of people take a card. The people do. They take a card and they go look you up on the website,
download
and
the music.
Maybe 1/5 of those people will download the music.
Right.
If you buy it right there, then it's done.
Yeah,
and it's kind of although I don't know. It's like I still listen to CDs in the car. I don't listen to Spotify or anything in the car. How
about radio?
I listen. Yeah, radio. Yeah, it's funny. I listen to radio on the way to the gigs and podcasts on the way home.
Okay.
That's my.
Well, that's our world that we're in.
Yeah.
And you have to, as you are doing right now, you have to adjust.
Yeah.
I think the whole media world is transitioning.
That's true.
It's true. So,
but it always has been, I guess. It's not.
Yeah, but I think it's transitioning faster.
Yeah,
the speed is picked up.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to your number 2 song that
okay.
you're going to play live. Take a sip. Take your time. Don't want to rush you.
All right. I won't put it in front of the camera this time, Mike.
And this is this is a debut.
This is the world debut. Yes. This is not recorded yet. It's called we're calling it Middle Ages.
Okay, very good. And we're hanging with Gregg Cagno, and we're talking about his album, Worth the Wait. But this is a debut. Check it out on yourlocalnote.com.
This is for, well, you'll figure it out. Middle-aged. Oh, I got to put that down. Middle-aged in the middle of a midlife crisis, awake in the middle of the night. Even the sheep that I'm counting, they're starting to show wrinkles. They're graying and their abs are not as tight. I'm looking for an answer to an age-old question, hoping that I might see the light. Far from the first to have wondered where the hell all the time went. Won't be the last time I try and get it right. And I've crossed the midway point. I'm into my back pages. I'm creaking round this joint. I'm living in the Middle Ages. I'm getting junk mail already from the AARP and sign-up forms from Medicare. The envelope is pushing on my golden years, and the outlook's looking worse everywhere. My doctor's using lines like for a guy your age, and the eye test ain't as easy as before. I couldn't help but sing a refrain of Moon River when she asked me to stare down at the floor. And I've crossed the midway point. I'm into my back pages. I'm creaking round this joint. I'm living in the Middle Ages. And the mating in captivity. Oh, these cages and things we discover here in these Middle Ages. But I ain't dead just yet, and I ain't ready for no hearse. I must admit I'm getting older, but at least I'm getting worse. I'm hearing all the sounds that my father used to make, only now they're coming from my mouth. He visits in the mirror more and more each year as my features do more traveling south. It takes more tools each day to maintain these grounds. My body's warranties have begun to expire. I'm thinking 20 years ahead, 30 till I'm dead, and only 40 more until I can retire. And I've crossed the midway point. Into my back pages, I'm creaking round this joint. I'm living in the Middle Ages. I'm living in the Middle Ages.
Very nice. Yes, Greg, I do relate to that song.
It's for me and you, RJ.
I figured that one out. Not as dumb as I look, right? All right. No, that's a interesting song.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's very entertaining, and yeah, you look at it and you listen to it, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of things I'm going, God, he's right there. He's right there. Yeah, I can relate to that. I wasn't liking that there for no.
So I still do write from the first person once.
Yeah, you want. It's sad, but it's very relatable.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you go through that, and Mike, you'll be thinking about this song. Yeah, you know, a couple decades, you'll be looking back. Oh, I remember that interview with Greg, and God, I'm now experiencing that. Yes, that's good stuff. So that was that an easy song to write? Because once you started rolling on it, it seems like the lyrics came kind of easy.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, actually. It was pretty quick. I think the... Yeah, it was the visit to the doctor. Then it was just like, oh, there's the song right there. It was when she said, you know, for a guy your age, I'm like, oh, hey now. I mean,
that's just beautiful.
Let's watch it with me.
Yeah.
So.
You love going to the doctors. I'm not sure the doctor doesn't love when I come in, but he, you know, just got to do it. Go more often. I went years without going to a doctor, and now all of a sudden it's like 2-3 times a year that you go, and it's like, oh God, why am I going this often? But you got to.
You got to.
All right. Very lifelike song. Thank you very much, Gregg. The album, again, is Worth the Wait. We're hanging with Gregg Cagno on yourlocalnote.com. Do you find, are you the type of writer that once you get the idea that you just go and the song just comes very naturally? Or are there some songs that just take forever in your mind to get done?
It goes either way. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a lot of it all at once, and you get gifts, you get cosmic biscuits, as my friend Connie calls it. But it's when I get a good idea or when I get a strong idea, I don't judge it as good or bad. I just know that there's a song happening. I try to always finish that song, whether I don't know where it's going or not, But usually, like in that first sitting, I try to get as much as I can down, because you can get 60%, 75% of it. You're really lucky, because then the last, the ending is always hard for me, and that third verse is always kind of the lesson verse is like, oh, what do I need to say here?
Yeah, right.
So, and I've had a lot of my songs I tend to try to push through and finish quickly, but some of them, when you get that feeling like, oh, this is actually, I like this. I don't want to take a cheap road out, and sometimes it's easy to go to make a comedy thing and take the, it's
something like that just seems more natural,
right? Or like that song was, I knew it was going to be like my teasing it, aging gracefully song, So I was okay with going funny on it, but it's like sometimes you want to, you can't rush it, and
right.
And the thing is, I'll rewrite a song. Even after I've played it out a lot, and because for some reason you can't really, you think it's done in your living room, and then you go play it for an audience, and you're like, right. Oh, that didn't quite, feel right, and it's like, and it's not even feedback that you're getting from people directly. It's just like
you can feel the vibe.
You can feel it. You can feel if they're getting, and it's, you do hear people say, oh, it's, whatever they get out of it for their own experience. But, it's kind of a cop-out, too. It's like, this should be a song about this, and I want you to understand this. Right, and if you don't, then I didn't do my job,
Okay.
And if you're bored, I really didn't do my job, But that's that's a big thing. It's like, for me, the performer and the writer, it's their responsibility to make you listen. It's not your job to listen. It's their job to make you.
You got to grab our attention.
Yeah, man. And it's like, that's why sometimes stuff needs rewriting. If you say, oh, they didn't really catch that bridge, it didn't really make sense to them,
And it's got to be the one thing I'm always fascinated with singer songwriters is you're doing it yourself, because a lot of times when we talk to bands, the band members end up contributing and helping, and someone can throw out an idea and it's like, oh, that changes the whole song, and they depend on each other. Here, you're by yourself. Do you have a person or people that you sometimes will just call up and say, hey, or just say, I'm going to email you some music and want you to see what you think, because I'm a little stuck here, and that type of stuff?
I have a very short list of people I trust to do that, and because I'm really guarded about it. I keep my cards real close until it's done. I have this, whatever, whatever it is, it makes you not want to show the idea till it's done. But I have a guy who I've written with for years. We have a few co-writes together, more than a few. And he is now kind of graduated into being more of a novelist. And him, I feel really comfortable with just emailing, and I'm definitely more comfortable about not being in the same room as the person who's like, here, read this over, take a listen, and let me know if it works. But I rarely play stuff for my wife before it's done.
I was just about to ask you, because she's musical.
Yeah, and she I'm sure that's a bone of contention that I need to share more stuff. Well, we're trying to write some stuff together now,
right?
And but sometimes it's like if it's co-write, it's one kind of song, and if it's it's different. It's different.
Oh, it is different. My wife is in the radio business, so we and I'm doing different things on my own. With podcasts and things like that. And so I'll have her listen to it, and then she critiques it. And most of the time she's ripping me. But, and because she's like, well, I know you can do better.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to help me, and she's, and the thing is, it's kind of funny because she's from the Midwest, and they're all supposed to be very nice, and she is very nice to everybody but me. But it's kind of interesting because she does a lot of interviews. She'll play interviews for me and say, okay, what do you think, and going back and forth. And I have, you have to sometimes be careful and how you critique for them.
Yeah.
And so it's I find it interesting when you said your wife is a singer and how that works out.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's better that we're in kind of different fields.
Yes.
Both musical related, but different.
Yes.
Thing, so we understand each other's thing, but we don't do that. And like I knew very little about musical theater when I met her, and now I've learned a lot, and like I've been exposed to some great writing and realized why a lot of those standards are standards and classics, and but it is a different kind of writing too.
Yes.
It's like we just saw Beautiful the other day at the Kimmel. Did you see that show?
No,
Wow,
I've heard it's really good.
That's a great show.
I've seen highlights. I actually did an interview for one of the CBS stations that I work for, KYW, and I interviewed the people at the Kimmel Center.
Oh, nice.
And they, talked about it a little bit, and so I checked out some videos and stuff like that, and it seems like it's a very, very cool show.
It was really cool, and it's very cool also because that's kind of where, like, a show about where, like, our two worlds colliding. It's like
right,
art, and it.
Yeah, because Carole King is a prolific writer,
Yeah.
and I think people forget how many songs she wrote.
Man.
And the Brill Company in New York, I don't think people understand that history, or they haven't really been exposed to it. And it's just fascinating how her life came together and what she did. So I would like to see that. I know time is running out, but I know that's something my wife and I have talked about.
I think it closed already here.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find, I guess, New York is the next place. That's too bad. But anyway, are you going to be playing live anywhere?
What's coming up? I'm playing tomorrow but that's a fundraiser thing for the. I don't think that's open to the public.
Okay.
So I won't even say where that is.
So never mind.
Never mind. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. If it's public, I'll put it on my website.
Okay.
If it's not, then you're out of luck. But what's coming up other than that?
Do you still do a lot of open mic nights?
Not a lot. I mean, I still like. I do a few. I have one I go to at the Dawson Street Pub sometimes over in Manayunk, and
okay,
because Ian runs that, and I do one up in New Hope. A good friend of mine runs. John Beecher. Have you heard him?
No.
He's a Philly guy now. We met when we both lived up in New Hope. Now we both live in Philly, and I'll put you in touch because he would be perfect for this show as well.
Excellent, great.
And he runs a lovely thing called the Community Stage at Carla's in New Hope, and it's just a real good human being, and kind of it's a good vibe for he really draws people out, and that's something about that open mic. Good vibe that
do you
keeps me coming back up there sometimes.
Do you enjoy writing more now than performing, or is it still you still enjoy the performing part?
Honestly, I can't say I really enjoy writing.
Really?
I love having new songs that are done, and I love to play. I love to perform new songs, and that's like the end game motivation. The writing part kind of is painful.
You struggle through that?
Yeah, I mean it's not as fun as it hopes it should be. I don't know. I mean it's work,
Okay.
And it's like, but like the reward is enough that like you kind of learn how to fight through it a little bit more as you keep doing it, and the songs get better, and you really
Or I take it then you're your own worst critic.
I guess I am. I'm sure I am, but I'm not terribly hard on myself. But you kind of got to go to you got to fight the self-editor. You got to fight the self-critic pretty hard sometimes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you get so close to it, you just can't. You'll never be satisfied. You'll never be happy with it.
Yeah. And most of the time, like when you finish it. And you just play it through that first time you finish it enough to play it all the way through. You're like, oh my God, that feels so good. Why don't I do this every day? It's like, I feel like that when you're in it though, and you're just like fighting for this, and I'm like, oh, this is crap. What do you think? And that, like turning off that voice is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, there's a good answer for you.
Oh, no, it was a good answer. Absolutely,
Yeah, it's honest. No, it's honest. That's true.
And that's the best answer. All right.
And co-write stuff is I've been co-writing a little bit more, and that's a little less stressful for some reason because you kind of got the other person to bang ideas off of. And
but you need to have some chemistry though, don't you think? I mean,
oh yeah, it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And
that's got to be tough when you know it's not working.
Yeah, we won't play that song.
Okay, very good. Greg, thank you so much. This has been
it's been great.
Just great talking to you.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Let's Worth the Wait is the title track of your album, and what is that about?
Worth the Wait it's about my wife.
Okay,
we got married a little later than some.
Mm-hmm.
I think all my friends were married and most of them were divorced by the time I got around to it. But no, that's not true. Only a few. Yeah, it's for Maggie. Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, we're wrapping things up. Again, all his information as far as his website and stuff, you've been seeing that on the screen.
Got it on there. Okay, excellent.
And check out the album. Again, it's called Worth the Wait. Sounds really good.
Thank you very much.
Did a very good job with your stuff. So
thank you very much.
I like it a lot. So
I appreciate it. Can I throw a little thanks to my new agent, Mole Street Artists?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, very
Keep up the
good.
work.
And if you want to plug your other business again, you can do that too.
That's all right.
Okay, that's all right, very good.
Enough self-promotion.
All right, wrapping things up, we have another podcast coming up on the 12th, I believe it is. And I think Tuesday? Yeah, I think it is the Pie-Eyed Preachers.
All right.
Is who we have coming up. I have it on my calendar, so I'll just get to that right away. And it is, yes, Pie-Eyed Preachers on the 12th. So looking forward to that. This, if you want to see this vidcast again, we're going to have this featured starting Monday.
Oh, great.
And it will run for a week. And then it's always on our site. So if you miss it and you want to get to it, just type in your name and it searches it, and you can listen to it anytime you want.
Ad nauseum.
Okay, very good. Wrapping things up here with Worth the Wait, Gregg Cagno, and that's the title track of his album on yourlocalnote.com.
Thanks, guys.
She's the last one out when the show is done. There were others here with flowers. Now I'm the only one left leaning on the wall, left staring at the stage door. She may be late, but she's right on time for sure. It's worth the wait in the cold when I see her walk my way. She's worth the wait in gold. And I would wait all day. She's worth the wait. She's the last one in. Now this search is done. There were others here before, and now she's the only one. Right beside my name, inside my everything. I may be slow, but her fingers in the ring. It's worth the wait growing old, just to see my wife. She's worth the wait in gold. Waited all my life. She's worth the wait. So while we have this time, and we're of sound mind, Let us seize this dance. Let us take this chance. Growing old. When I see my wife, she's worth the weight in gold. No, I waited all my life. It's worth the wait. She's worth the wait.